We are now witnessing the Blackrock Bitcoin cycle. It's the BBC. This is the Blackrock Bitcoin cycle. And I think that there's going to be a major difference in this cycle. And I've been saying this for months. I think anyone who's sitting here trying to time this market, again, I think that anyone who's sitting here trying to time this market, talking about massive drawdowns, et cetera, you don't the cycle, I believe, is going to change, right? I'd kind of be happy to be proven wrong because, volatility is vitality and that will create opportunities. So what I think is going to happen here is if you just look at the gold chart from 2004, you had a steady upward swing on gold. By the way, I just got done recording a video, which I'm going to put out in a couple days, regarding this concept of smooth brain gold bug Bitcoiners that are saying, oh, instead of using income funds, just sell your MSTR or Bitcoin on a monthly basis, and that'll be better than using income funds like MSTY. I've been saying this for a couple months, and I'm going to put out a video. It's my first video with a spreadsheet in it. So we're going to see how this goes. So subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that. But we're basically, it's going to be a bloodbath. So you really want to subscribe to watch that video. Look, I think the cycles have changed. I think that BlackRock is not incentivized. And when I say BlackRock, I mean like institutional asset managers. I don't think they're incentivized to see an asset and have their clients get into an asset that runs up 400-500% and then crashes 80 to 90% for 3 years. I just don't see how that makes any sense whatsoever. So I think now in this BlackRock Bitcoin cycle, we're going to see Larry Fink and the market makers buoy up this market in a way which creates sustainable returns over a longer period. It's going to be great for people that trade volatility because this is how markets are created. And I think what we're going to see is a steady uprise for a very, very long period of time. You're going to see the intra-year volatility for sure. I think that's absolutely going to maintain. But I don't think you're going to see, massive blow off tops and then massive 80 to 90% corrections. I think that part has changed because there's just no one incentivized to do this. And you can kind of see it in the price action, right? It runs up $5,000 to $10,000, goes steady again. Runs up $5,000 to $10,000 a few months later, comes steady again. So I think that's what's happening here. You can't expect an asset to have the same cycle when it was basically degens trading it versus when, heavy institutional managers, the president, et cetera, are now in the asset. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a change in cycle here. And that's great, right? I personally think that's a good thing. The only problem is it's going to bore you to death. So you better get used to boredom because Bitcoin is becoming a mature asset. And I kind of understand, when people are talking about okay, what do I do with, how do I make money with Bitcoin? And unfortunately, Bitcoin is a savings technology, right? You're supposed to go make money, hold it in Bitcoin, and let your energy accumulate. Most people in the world that we live in, this dopamine addicted world right now, do not want to do that. What they want to do is they want to put $100 in and walk away with 10,000. So it's unfortunate, but I think that's what most people are going to miss. And it's going to be exactly what the institutional buyers are looking for, because at the end of the day, they understand that paying, $150,000, $200,000 for an asset that's going to go to 13, 14, 15 million dollars, as Michael Saylor has pointed out, is a good bet. It's a good trade, right? They wouldn't see that as a bad trade. So they'll be happy to pay you for that. And again, this is why these tools, income funds, et cetera, are extremely important to understand. I'm not saying to use, that's a personal question, but to understand, because this is what's going to allow you to hodl through these periods. Because how many Bitcoiners right now in our ecosystem, let's say, are waiting for a rise up so they can actually change their life? We can do that right now with income funds, which is why I'm putting out that video that I think is going to be very important in a couple days. And it's going to dispel all the myths, all the morons out there I've been waiting for a couple months for everyone to give their opinions, and I've now received all the morons, and I have moron power. So now we're powered by the tears of these morons, and we're now going to do an analysis and see whether they're right or not. Right? It's pretty easy to say shit on X. Let's see if the math, pans out the way that you think it's going to pan out. So subscribe to the channel for that. But I think the BlackRock Bitcoin cycle is different. I think that you better get used to boredom. You better get used to the price going up $1,000 a day for a few days and then coming down, correcting, and then flushing people out, etc., etc. I certainly did not expect the amount of people to sell their Bitcoin to institutional hands. That's happened. There's no way that I would have expected, almost 1 million Bitcoin to change hands. And that's what's going on right now. Last year, it was like 600,000 to 900,000 Bitcoin. River put out a chart in 2025 so far. It's like 250,000 Bitcoin that's moved from retail to institutional hands. That's a sad thing, but that's what's going on. People are realizing that, oh, okay, I can buy my house. I've been holding Bitcoin since 5,000. Let me go sell it and go change my life and do whatever I want to do. That's their right to do that. I think it's a stupid decision based on what's happening, the lending products, the income funds, everything else that's coming out. And I think that using some of these tools is going to make people better hodlers. This is why I'm talking about it. And I'm suggesting that you learn about it for a small portion of the stack instead of selling your Bitcoin to someone that's never, ever going to sell it. That's the sad thing. All of these guys that are buying the Bitcoin right now, they're never going to sell it. They're never, ever going to sell it, right? MSTR is never selling its Bitcoin. Me as a shareholder, I'm paying them to do that. I'm trusting my money with the board at MSTR, at Strategy, to do that for me, to buy Bitcoin in a leveraged way at an interest rate that I can't get access to and accumulate as much as possible for me. So subscribe to the channel. We've got this video coming out. I think it's gonna shut up a lot of these Michael Burrys of Bitcoin finally. And remember, ultimately, there's always only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.